lived in the town for 52 years. I was born here. I farmed in the town of Covert forever since I could walk. And I guess this is about land and how I feel about my property. I'm not sure everybody here shares your views. I tend to run on fact, and I've listened to some pretty good facts. The last few weeks has been pretty good for me. It's forced me to look at this and look at the facts. I look at the facts on both sides, and I don't think this is about fracking and about drilling. This is about control of the energy so you can utilize your agenda going forward. This isn't about the energy. Because if you look at the fracking, there is no, in all the fracking that was done in Pennsylvania, according to the Pennsylvania DEC, there's not been one well that has failed. The failures are above ground. There's fracking material above ground. I'm no expert, but I've been looking in this just like you have. So if you want a round table discussion, does a round table discussion mean you're going to discuss with some of the other people that might know? You know, there's experts here. There's a lot of experts that can speak to this. So nobody loves their land more than I do. Nobody. I've nurtured my land since I was old enough to do it. So I don't want to see it destroyed either. And I had a lot of issues myself. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to follow this, and I'm having trouble promoting fracking myself. But in the last 2 or 3 days, I'd say what I have seen, there's more good about fracking than not. So I'm gonna get off the fracking, and I'm gonna go to property rights for a few minutes. I mean, we've owned this land for a long time, and our property rights, case in point, 2 years ago, the same type of group tried to push through in the town of Ovid how they were gonna, they wanted us to quit working at 7 o'clock. They were trying to limit what we could do as farmers. So they've been targeting farmers here for quite a while. And you probably have your reasons. I have my reasons why we do what we do. It's our business. We do a good job of our business. I don't come to Edgar. I don't go to tell you how you run your business. That seems so lately. Anyway, we had this meeting. They wanted to limit our time. They wanted to limit the use of the roads. They wanted to limit dust out of the combine. They wanted to charge us for dust. There was a lot of things in there that if you were involved in agriculture at all, you would know is not feasible. So, brings me to my third point, which is honesty. I was on the board on a committee, the Ag Land Preservation Committee in the town of Ulysses. I don't like doing this stuff. I'm not good at it. So why aren't we at these meetings? Because there's not one of us in here that likes doing this. So you may not be the only ones here tonight. There's a lot of them here in the paper. My point, I was on an Ag Land Preservation Committee down in Ulysses. We spent probably a year and a half on that board with consultants trying to come up with policies to bring forth the town of Ulysses board for possibly putting into law. Anyway. So we came up with several good issues. And as an Ag committee, one of the main issues we came up with was we did not like 20, 25 acre lots. You're talking about green space. As an Ag committee, agriculture, we don't want 25 acre lots. We suggested that there be cluster housing developments, use a septic system, put in a septic system, put in a water system, and make it self-sufficient. Keep those bigger fields open for agriculture. If it's an Ag committee, well, when that got taken to the town board, it got taken to the town board by a group of the Ithaca thinking people. say what you want, but that's how I look at it.
It's a
They brought it to the town board that we suggested 25-acre lots. So I see this isn't the first time this happens. So where's the honesty? Is the honesty in what you feel about fracking, or is the honesty in what you think ought to be a policy for energy in the future? And I think if you're going to be honest about this, you need to say, look, we don't want this energy because we don't want cheap energy, because we want to be able to come up with our alternative energies and make it feasible, because the energy isn't going to be that expensive, or it will be so expensive that you can make the alternative energies work. If you keep cheap energy, and you said it earlier, if you keep cheap energy, then you're going to keep burning cheap energy. Isn't that what you said?
I didn't say it, but I like it.
You said it.
No.
The point is, there is going to need to be a transition period. That is the point. There is. You may think about, and I'm probably over my 3 minutes, and I apologize. I'll sit down. But you're talking about natural gas. Do you really know how many things that you use are made from derivatives of natural gas? I mean, it isn't just a matter of turning your heat up and down. Everything that you eat, I don't know if I should get in this or not, but nitrogen is made from natural gas. Everything that we grow, we put nitrogen in. It's derived from natural gas. It isn't just what you're thinking about. There's a lot of aspects to it that I think we need to look into the future for our kids, because one of these days, I'm going to give you a case in point. Can I do that, or am I done?
Go ahead.
My point. My son was in Moldova. It's a state that was part of Russia, right? When the Russians split off, Moldova was by itself. He was there. And it wasn't 7, 8 years ago, Russia decided, okay, we don't like what Moldova's doing. And it wasn't just Moldova, it was some of the other states. What did they do? They turned the energy off. In the middle of the winter, those people had no heat. And if you think that can't happen, we've already pissed off the Canadians by not running it. I was at a meeting with some Canadians the other day, and the woman was about ready to hit me because I was from the United States, because we didn't finish the pipeline. So to think that we're so arrogant to think that we can, how can you use energy and expect somebody in North Dakota or Ohio to supply this energy you think is so bad? You still use the energy. You still use the energy every day.
How am I using natural gas?
Huh?
How am I using natural gas?
Do you drink soda?
No.
Do you eat cereal?
No.
Do you eat bread?
I make my own.
Do you eat bread?
I make my own from flour that's grown, or actually it's ground in Teberg and grown in Brooktondale.
You might be one of the only ones.
No, she's not.
That doesn't
Splitting
do it.
hairs is what we call that.
They call that splitting hairs, but you know what my point is.
Well, when it
I've
comes to,
had my
okay,
free
so
will.
we're talking nitrogen fertilizer?
Okay, for-
All right, I don't believe in
Thanks.
nitrogen
I
fertilizer.
know you don't, and I do. So, if you want to have a round
I'd
table,
love to talk with you.
well, I think it would be very interesting.
All right, you would.
So, but if you want to have a round table discussion, that means a round table discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That means everybody has a say.
Certainly, let's do it as a community.
That's all I have to say.